Excellent, thanks everybody. Well, we've got a variety of businesses. You'll all have different problems, and the 7 deadly disasters, I hope none of you suffer them. Some of them will be familiar problems to some of you, and others they won't. So there's a lot to cover. 7 different areas that I picked as areas that I have come across in my practice where people have suffered disasters. Any one of these disasters can kill your business. If you get 2, you're finished. It's possible to avoid all of them with a bit of planning, which is the point of the seminar. So, deadly disaster number 1, and this has actually happened to somebody that I met a few years ago. I've just found out that I don't own my own business name. How is this possible? How is it possible? What they did was they canvassed their friends, their colleagues. Let's think of a name for the business. Okay, they had a name. They did a bit of research. Sounded okay. They looked at Companies House. They thought they could get the right company. Printed the stationery. And this is not the real one. This is just a picture. But let's say it's the cafe. Printed menus. Told people that they're called the Olympic Cafe. They're going along, spent a lot of money. 6 months later, they get a letter from a solicitor, completely out of the blue. You're using my client's name. It wasn't exactly the same. It was quite similar. Similar enough to be confusing. And as if lightning doesn't strike, lightning strikes twice in the same place, they're actually in the same kind of business. So this is a bit of a disaster, because they're potentially having to wipe out all of their hard work and investment in developing their name. Now, the law behind all of this is very complicated, but there are some things that I would really recommend that everybody does. Trust me, this can happen. So firstly, research your business name. That's kind of an obvious thing, because you're all thinking about, do I know somebody who's got a name? We've got the Indian Orchard as a name, and you've obviously thought about, has anyone else got this name?
Yeah, I did look actually on a company house, and somebody had a similar name, but business actually went down a long time ago.
Yeah.
I haven't registered my name in obviously business name in a company house. Do I have to be quick enough to do that, or sorry?
Well, the thing about Companies House is that they're very liberal about the names that you can use. They'll let you form pretty much anything. It could be the Indian Orchard Company Limited, the Indian Orchard Trading Company Limited. They'll let all of them be formed, because actually they're just vehicles, and the Companies House are very, very liberal. So in actual fact, although you need to get a name that you're happy with, that's not going to be the critical thing, because you're never going to be able to form all the companies with all the permutations of your name. You'd have 1,000 companies, and that's too expensive. But research the market. That's what we're really talking about. Research the market. Research it, and then research it some more, and research it again. With names, and we'll come on to this in a moment, try and get a name that's distinctive, because it's going to be easy to get trademarks. Make it distinctive in the particular industry that you've got. Olympic Cafe is obviously a complete disaster. But, and then do more research. This is some of the law. I don't want to make it too legalistic, because it can get very heavy and technical very quickly. I mentioned the situation with company names and Companies House. Pretty liberal regime. Okay? Some names you can't use, governmental type names and nationality type names, you can't use them. But for most trading names, you can get away with what you want. Copyright. Does everyone know what copyright is? Copyright is a right that you get automatically for creating a new work. The normal expression is artistic work, which is a bit misleading, because often it's nothing to do with art. But that brand, their Olympic Cafe, can count as copyright, because it's a creation of a particular person. And in the UK, you automatically get copyright for any artistic work. So this logo, for example, we've never bothered to register it, but we have copyright in it because we've created it. It's automatic. Sometimes you see a little C, people put on it to say it's copyright. You don't need to do that, because you get it automatically.
What is the difference between copyright and registered? Because some.
Well, we'll come on to that.
Okay.
Next one is trademarks, because a trademark is a right that you can register.
Okay.
Yeah, you can register that. And sometimes you see the little symbol TM, trademark. I was told by somebody from the Intellectual Property Office that TM means totally meaningless. His point was that if it's not registered, it doesn't really help you. It can help you when we come on to passing off. But the message here, if you've got a trademark and you think it's going to be distinctive and useful to you, get it registered. Now, it can sound very intimidating. You don't need a trademark attorney. You can get one if you've got plenty of money. You don't need one. I had a check yesterday on the fees. You can register a trademark for just £200. You can apply online as well. You're supposed to identify the classes of the business that you're operating in. If it's food, if it's IT, consultancy, whatever it is, and there are categories. It's £50 for each extra category. Maybe I should register the trademark, but we haven't. But you know, here you've got a particular style of writing the Indian orchard, and you've got a lovely logo on the back. So if that's going to be with you for the rest of your business life, get it registered. It doesn't cost very much. So the logo and the writing associated with the logo, they're distinctive in relation to your product. So it's worth applying to the Intellectual Property Office. It's ipo.gov.
So this TM or
Tell him is what you'll end up doing is putting an R, because the little R says it's registered.
OP, IOP, intellectual.
Hello, morning.
Sorry, IPO is it?
IPO, yeah, Intellectual Property Office. .gov, yeah.
If you register your trademark, are you allowed to simply change your logo without having to re-register?
Well, it's just that you'll have a different logo which isn't protected.
Okay.
And some companies have a portfolio of registered trademarks. They build them up. I mean, people like Unilever have got hundreds.
So if we use that tree as an example, if they changed the colour of it, would that negate the registration?
Well, no, it wouldn't. I don't think it would, because it's strikingly similar to what they've got. So you can have different colourways. You don't have to register every single colourway.
Yeah.
But if you have a different tree, it's a different symbol. You need to register that.
Right.
Domain names we all know about now. We're living in an internet age. A similar problem with companies is you can have all sorts of permutations of a domain name, can't you? I mean, you can, and we're already, you know, your .eu and .co.uk and .com. Those are the simple ones, but there's .biz. There are loads of them, and there are different permutations. So you could have, we've got healdlaw.com. You could have Heald Solicitors.co.uk. You could have any number of combinations. So that's quite a difficult one, and cyber squatters rely on capturing domain names that they think might be useful to somebody, and they have whole long lists of them, and you go and search. I wonder if I can get indianorchard.co.uk, and somebody might have already got it, but you know, you've just got to search. But it's not going to be the end of the world, because you could have indianorchardtrading.co.uk instead, and it's not going to stop your business. But just bear in mind, if you're starting out, get onto it. It's not expensive. Think of the permutations. Get 3 or 4 of them that are close to your business. Thank you. This is getting a bit more legalistic. Passing off. Has anyone heard of passing off?
Yeah.
You have. This is when somebody effectively pretends to be you and causes confusion in the market. So the anecdote I gave you earlier was really about passing off, because the solicitor was saying, my client's already got this business with this name. Who are you? We've been doing this for years. We've got a reputation in the market with that name, and now you're coming along and taking it away. And all my customers will think that you are my client, so we're going to sue you. That's a passing off claim. Best to be avoided. Don't get involved in them, because they're always expensive. Trademark infringement is a little bit more clear cut, because if your trademark is registered and you can prove infringement, it's pretty easy to sort them out. There's a lot of law behind trademark cases. Best not to get involved in it. But if you've got a registered trademark, it is a very, very powerful way of defending your brand that you've invested and built up. Because most people will run if you just write a letter and say, I've got a registered trademark. Okay. Oh, have I got another one there? Oh yeah, sorry, injunctions. And look, injunctions are the ultimate weapon in law. It's an order from the court that you shall or shall not do something. And of course, the big companies will go after you and they'll try and get an injunction. What the injunction will do is say, you can't trade under that name anymore because we own the brand name, we own your passing off, and so on. But I'm sure nobody will get into that. I just thought I'd mention the DRS and the UDNDRP. That's some jargon about domain names. So if you think someone is using your domain name, passing off, then you can go to the Dispute Resolution Service, which is operated by Nominet, which is the registrar that deals with .co.uk. And then the other one is the, I'll see if I can remember it all, Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Procedure, I think, policy, can't remember. That's .com. The sort of situation you get in, and again a client of mine has been in this situation, is someone types in the name of a business and it gets directed to somebody else's website. The client who's aggrieved has got a reputation and a trading business with the name that's been searched. Someone is diverting business by having got there first and registered the domain name for a completely different business. Okay? And if you can satisfy the various tests and you can demonstrate that their registration was what's called abusive, then the registrar will actually transfer the name back to you. But a lot of hurdles associated with it. Again, prevention is better than cure.